I know.
So if you saw last week's show, this is going to feel very similar, okay? Hey now, welcome in to show 232, the often imitated, never duplicated, original, live, unfiltered, unedited, uncensored, commercial-free Sharks podcast. That is the Pucknologists, here to wrap up your week of Sharks hockey. And Teal Town USA is here for you. Do that like and subscribe thing. Leave your take in the comment section if you're not with us live in the super chat. And so this week, well, what had happened was the Sharks did not have a good week, just like last week. They went 0-3, currently sitting now last in the league by points percentage with a record of 11-22-6. Curtis Pichelka pointing out earlier, by the way, it's like Sharks leaving 2024 the way they came in. Last place, baby. If you listened to last week's show, we spent a good amount of time lamenting falling apart in the third period and piling up one-goal losses. Well, this week was deja vu all over again. Sharks fell apart for 44 seconds, and that's all Vancouver would need. Then it would not even take 30 seconds to fall apart against Tomas Hertl and the Knights. And then we get the big Wolf versus Askarov matchup a week after Blackwood versus Georgiev. Good matchup, same result, another one-goal loss. And just let me remind you, the Sharks closed out November winning 4 of 5. And since then, they've won a single game. They are 1-7-1 during that stretch. The Sharks have a -10 goal differential in the third period of the last 10 games. And they've had a third period lead in 7 different games in December and have won a single one of those games. But I have to know, Ian, in order to learn how to win, don't you actually have to win?
Yeah, I went on a rant about this a couple of shows ago. The one thing I dislike about the narrative of if they could just hold on in the third, it's like it makes it sound like the Sharks and a lot of these games aren't holding on for dear life like most of the game. And then like the dam breaks in the third, because that's what happens when you don't have the puck and you're getting outshot and you're expecting, in this case, Askarov to do all the heavy lifting, because you can't, like, Alexander Georgiev has done no heavy lifting so far. Okay, he's been exactly what I think many people expected him to be. But I don't know. I feel like that this third period thing has gotten so much play when it's like, but did you watch the rest of the game? Because okay, maybe they fell apart in the third period, but it wasn't like they are controlling these games and then they just fall apart in the third. They're clinging on for dear life in most of these games. It's silly.
Well, I mean, what goes to show that is the fact that it just takes, I mean, they allowed 3 goals in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Versus Vancouver. But that was in the second period, so fair point there.
Yeah, like I just hate this narrative, because it's just like, if they could just hold on to a third period lead, and it's like, yeah, but I mean, if they could just, control a game, like control parts of a game, like I think that is step one, and that's not getting any play. It's just, they just, if they could just hold on for a little bit longer. Dumb shit.
Dude. I'm just, I don't get this. I mean, I'll credit the Sharks for trying to like claw back against Vancouver after allowing 3 goals in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
But it still comes back to, all right, another 1-goal loss, 5th straight.
No, for sure. For sure. Like, obviously, and it's, and I know it's getting tired of, we just got to learn how to win. And it's like,
so sick of that.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like you win games by controlling games.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you just, law of averages, you're going to fluke into some wins for sure. But, and I'm not saying like the Sharks haven't earned wins this season. Like, there's definitely been games where they have been the better team. But in their most recent schedule, which has been pretty brutal, I think the results have been pretty much what should have been expected.
That was the funny thing following the Vegas game, when Warsaw's like, we don't know what it takes to win in this league. It's like, bitch, you've done it 11 times.
Yeah.
Like, clearly, it's like, if you were 0 for, then I can understand that quote.
But I mean, everyone wins games.
Right? You would think. Well, I don't know. You could have asked Buffalo about that for all of December until they saw the Islanders, but oh man. All right. So yeah, Vancouver 4-3 loss. Vegas comes to town. The return of Hurdle. Oh my gosh. Tomas Hurdle finally comes back. So and it starts off with Hanifin going bar down on Georgiev, and I was like, oh fuck, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thoughts too.
Dude, Georgiev has been horrible.
Not good, right? And the sad thing is like, obviously now Vanecek's out with a broken cheek after getting beamed with the puck on the bench, and that's not good. Like, I'm not gonna like be like, well, man, thank God, Vanecek got hurt so Askarov could play, because that's kind of shitty. But like, I don't know. I mean, with the way Askarov's playing, but I still feel like as soon as Vanecek's healthy, Askarov's going back down, and then it's like, and I'm running out of reasons to watch this team. I feel like.
I mean, to a certain degree, but I got to say, dude, the Cuda desperately need Askarov right now. I mean,
yeah, they've been. I mean, they're
yeah.
They've had their own problems.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it in a little bit. I mean, they definitely had a hey now game yesterday, and then a hey now earlier today. But the Vegas game, I mean, dude, a couple of these things, it's like on the good side, positive. You're like, hey, nice slapper from Muka Madulin. Literally goes through Aiden Hill for his first ever NHL goal, and it's kind of like, all right, you love that, love to see that. And then I see Stone making a sandwich in front of the crease. And,
right.
And I'm like, okay, how is he allowed to sit there? Meanwhile, Granlund gets slew-footed, no call. But then, oh my God, dude, Smith and Celebrini holding that passing clinic before Celebrini's goal.
I know.
Hold on, let's just watch this for a moment. This is so chef's kiss. Watching the effort from Celebrini to get it back to Smith, Smith back to Celebrini, and then you get the rebound, then Celebrini back over to Smith. I mean, it was just like, good Lord. That could have been a 2-on-5, and they still would have scored. I mean, it was just sick. The fact that we should be able to enjoy watching these two guys play for the next decade and a half. Oh,
yeah, it's gonna be awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's just, I mean, obviously we need to address the blue line.
Yeah. And that's the problem here. Like, for me, is like the team, and I know at this point, right? Like, we're getting into the season where the conversation is gonna quickly move to the draft. You can already kind of see that shift on social media now, where everyone's getting their draft hats on instead, and it's frustrating though, because it's like, as guys get healthier now, this team will get worse, because I don't think Marc-Edouard Vlasic's going to help on the blue line if he ever actually appears. Vitek Vanecek is not going to give you better goaltending than Yaroslav Askarov. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, it's like, I mean, it seems like the injuries are piling up right now, so maybe we don't see that, but like, man, like,
it does seem
as we get into like the dog days of the season, it's gonna get rougher.
But it does seem like every time someone comes back, someone else gets injured.
It does.
I mean, it's like, good Lord. But I see Jimmy Chomps Teal saying, AJ, I got you a sweet custom bracelet. How can I send it out to you? Hit me up on the email that we posted in the chat. We'll figure it out. In fact, I got my groovy little Will Smith friendship bracelet on from last night. That was cool. But yeah, this game, it's just going into the third. I just remember going, Sharks, I tweeted it. I implore you, please just hold the lead in this one. And then 2 shorthanded goals, and I'm like, okay, fuck it.
I know, the 2 shorthanded goals are brutal.
Yeah, I was just like, get me out of here.
Like, again, like, it's hard. Like, I agree. Like, people are saying, well, Celebrini's on this team, and that's why you want. And they're 100% right. Like, Macklin Celebrini is the one of the few reasons to watch. Like, he's made this team a lot more interesting than it probably has any right to be at this point.
Felix in the chat saying Ian's probably got it, but Canada just won 3-0. U.S.-Canada game is going to be interesting on New Year's.
Oh, Canada's gonna get fucking smoked on New Year's Eve, man. It's so I don't know, maybe not. I don't think Trey Augustine's been very good this tournament so far. So maybe that'll help Canada, but like this Team Canada, it's a rant for later.
Well, this I'm just wondering, like, how many more starts Georgiev is going to get if it's not a back-to-back situation. And
he shouldn't get any. Like,
I'm right there with you.
I am like at this point, as much as I want the Barracuda to be good because like that's the only playoff hockey we're going to get in San Jose this year. So you kind of want the Barracuda to be good. But at this point, I don't understand. And I, in development plans, whatever, I get it. But for me, like he's stealing the net and he should be allowed to do that.
And see, I am in the same boat with you, yet, I tweeted out a couple days ago, like, can Askarov, whatever we're going to call it, asterisk, that would be cool. But can Asky just like start every game from here on out? And then when Vanacek is healthy, can Askarov continue to start every game from here? Like, I've just don't have a lot of confidence or faith in Georgiev or Vanacek at this point. Obviously a little more in Vitek, but my point being that a couple people came at me and like, you don't want to see Asky get shelled. And I'm like, he's got nothing to prove in the A.
No, he really doesn't at this point. Like he's been there for a while. Again, right? Like it's hard because obviously like they have a development plan for these guys. But to me, like this is supposed to be, what did Mike Grier basically come in and say? And it hasn't, and it's been this way once or twice, this season, I think it's been this way more, but it's supposed to be a fucking meritocracy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't understand how in this situation, how you can send Askarov back down with the way he's played. Like, yeah, okay. He had a little bit of a dud against Vancouver. Not a great game, but I think otherwise, like, I mean, the only reason they're in that Edmonton game, Askarov. The only reason they're in the Vegas game, Askarov. Like,
well, no. Askarov didn't play in the Vegas game.
The other game,
Calgary.
Yeah.
Well,
Calgary,
and Askarov, right? I think, got the number 2 star in that game.
Right, that's what I mean. And it's like if this is a meritocracy, then he should be allowed to steal the net. Like this is what happens in hockey: is a guy comes in and he takes the net. And I'm sorry, but there's no world which you can tell me that Vitek Vanacek or Georgiev has done enough to have the net be considered either of theirs. They should be the 1B to Askarov at this point. I don't. Yep. Again, like, what are you going to do with Georgiev? I think he's gone at the end of the season anyway. I can't imagine the Sharks circling back and signing this guy. Same with Vitek Vanacek. There's no guarantee he's here next year. But Askarov's going to be here next year. Like, it's going to be his net at some point, regardless. But like, if you earn it, you should get it.
Okay. And Ruben says, does Askarov pressure the organization to keep him up in the NHL, considering he wanted NHL starts in Nashville, didn't get them, requested to be traded? How do they go about pleasing Yaroslav?
Okay, here's the difference between San Jose and Nashville. The problem in Nashville was
UC they have
Saros,
one other good goalie.
Right. UC Saros signed an 8-year deal, which means that he is the guy. And Askarov wanted to be the guy. And there was no path to him being the guy in Nashville. He has the path in San Jose. He's the only goalie signed next year. Right? So I don't worry about like them hurting. Like if they send him back to the Barracuda for whatever reason, I don't worry that that's going to harm the relationship and he's going to want out because he has a path.
Absolutely.
It's his net next year. And it's his net going forward.
That's the way I would play it. I mean, unless you're like, okay, let's try to get our shit together and get a Calder Cup in this piece, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I just, again, and it's and selfishly, I just want to watch some fucking playoff hockey for a team from San Jose. That's my selfish wish.
Hell yeah.
At the end of the season, right? Like. But at the same, like, I don't worry about them hurting their relationship with Askarov because he has a path. And the difference between here and Nashville is in Nashville, he didn't have a path. UC Saros was the guy And even if he did start out playing UC Saros makes $8 million. He ain't going anywhere.
Yep.
Askarov was always going to be the guy who was going to be going out the door. It was just a matter of when. That's the difference.
Ryan also saying about Georgiev, says he allegedly had a bad attitude when things don't go well for him. Teammates didn't like him in New York, and he'd smash his stick whenever he'd get pulled when he was an Av. I mean, I don't mind a guy who's going to like smash his stick when he gets pulled because he's pissed at himself for not doing better. Like that's, it's a little bit of competitive fire. I know that there was a couple times when I played sports, like I wanted to like snap my bat in half when I, had a shitty hit.
But I have this is not the first time I have heard rumors of Georgiev not being a great teammate, which you still want. Yeah. I don't have anything super substantial to be like, this is the smoking gun, but I have heard rumors that the people in Colorado were very happy to see him go. And in New York, I think New York, he was kind of in a similar situation to again, they're not the same goalie, but he was in a very similar situation to Askarov, where it didn't really matter how good he played. Shesterkin was always going to be the guy there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a matter of Shesterkin coming up and taking the net. So,
well, following the Vegas game, I will say there was a little bit of I don't know. Warsofsky was starting to irritate me a little bit because, when asked if, is it mental errors, or he's like, you have to ask the team. I don't know. And I'm like, you don't know, right? I
think it's hard. I'm going to defend Warsaw a little bit here, in the fact that I think he's a human who's been asked the same question every game, and it probably it has to get frustrating. I'm frustrated just talking about this fucking.
I mean,
and this isn't my job. I'm frustrated being here, having to discuss this, basically trying not to just repeat the same thing I said last week and the week before that. And
yeah, I mean, I'm quite sure he could. He's like, if I never see Shang, Max, and Curtis, it'll be too soon, right? I get that.
Yeah.
Seeing the same guys hearing the same questions, but. I don't know, maybe develop a little more of a personality or something. When I hear Tortorella or Daryl Sutter, be curt, be kind of, an asshole when answering questions, at least there's some, there's a little personality there. There's some humor there or whatever. Warsofsky just comes off really angry.
And Tortorella has a Stanley Cup, right? So
True. Yeah, well, as does Sutter, right? With the LA.
Yeah, right. They've done things. So I think you also get the a little more flexibility to kind of be an asshole with the media when you've done things. Like Ryan Warsofsky hasn't done anything in this league yet. Now I still look at I am still of the mind that I think he's gonna, as the pieces come, as better pieces come in, I think he's going to be a good coach for this team.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see. I just feel like Quinn and DeBoer and Bugner were a lot more forthcoming.
Yeah, but they all sucked as coaches, so I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of that teal curtain's getting thicker.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I hate the teal curtain too, man. But I could not watch another year of David fucking Quinn coaching this team.
Yeah. Finally, we get to the Calgary game last night. We got Klim Kostin returning to the lineup after being injured in St. Louis. Oh, by the way, the last time the Sharks won a game. And then, Kovalenko is scratched. You got Wallman and Eklund going out this week from being injured. I mean, just, again, it's as soon as you get one guy back, somebody else goes on the IR. What are you going to do?
And that's the unfortunate thing too now is now injuries are starting to pile up, which kind of muddies the waters even more. I think the Sharks, one thing that they've kind of had a lot of luck with this year is on the injury front so far. The injuries haven't really piled up. It's been one call up here or there. I'm fascinated to see if Grundstrom's out for any more period of time. Who are they going to call up in that point? Does Vlasic somehow get activated? I don't fucking know anymore, man.
Well, see, but I will say though, in kind of a glass half full kind of a thing, it's Delandria comes off IR, then Eklund goes on it. And then, or Wallman gets injured. So now it opens up some opportunity for Mukamadulin. It's just the fact that at least you're not completely decimated with injuries. It's one here, one there. And to me, it gives someone the opportunity to show off, like, okay, I'm going to be a badass while I'm going to take advantage
Sure.
of this guy being on, scratched for whatever reason. I'm going to use and make the best of this moment. Like, I was hoping that, like, Costin would, like, kick ass with Granlund and Toffoli last night. And it was like,
Yeah.
well, instead he decided to pick a fight at the worst time. So I'm like, shit, what are you going to do? But, I mean, dude, just 3 losses this week. It's tough. And you got Vanacek out week to week. Like we said last week, I was like, if this is not Askarov's moment to just take the reins, I don't know. Let me see. What did Michael just say here? Do you think we can have Marlowe, Thornton, and Ricci teach the power play unit some fundamentals in practice one day? Maybe get them clicking again. Thanks for all the great content. Hey, thanks for watching, Michael.
Yes, thank you for watching. I mean, obviously, like Ricci is a development coach, right? So I mean, I assume that's part of what he would be doing.
Whether it's been Quinn or Bugner or Warsofsky, I just, like, I don't know, like, what needs to happen for this power play unit to get, like, go back to the days of, like, T-Mac or whatever. The power play back then was so goddamn lethal.
Yeah, because the players were better.
Exactly. And I'm like,
that's the answer, right? I mean, you go back there. I mean, you had Dan Boyle quarterbacking your power play, and then when he went off, Brent Burns came on.
But you'd also have, it was a different set. How many times did we see Thornton just sit behind the net and just boom, this way to the left to Marlowe or this way to, I don't know, Chichu, whoever?
Sure, but I mean, they don't have that guy. Like, it's Joe Thornton was like a generational passer.
Yeah, like I'm wondering, like, like, you would think Celebrini lives with Thornton. Like, fuck Joe, teach him.
Different, but they played like but they're different players.
Exactly. No, I know.
Right. Like it's different. It's different people. And the other thing too for the Sharks that they have to kind of contend with here is not only that, it's hard to get the power play going. It's hard to get the power play going when you have like only one line clicking at any given time.
Yeah, and Wallman's out. Like,
yeah, and the fact that Wallman's out is obviously a big problem for them because he's the closest thing they have to a puck moving defenseman. And I love Wallman, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like, he's not your power play quarterback on a contender.
I feel so bad that we gave Detroit nothing for that guy. Don't you?
No, fuck Detroit.
Ryan saying Sharks need a dynamic puck moving defenseman to bolster their power play.
Yeah,
I feel like they had one of those.
They did, and they sent him to Pittsburgh.
And evidently not doing that well in Pittsburgh. But anyway, but speaking of defensemen, hey, remember when Vlasic went on that 6-game road trip that started November 30th because he was close to being back? Remember that? Woo! Still hiding behind that teal curtain. The Athletic earlier this week was talking about, hey, we need to manufacture content here, right? Because the whole league's on a break. So what if we came up with some interesting trades and made some matches? And the very first one they had on their list was Granlund to Vegas. The Athletic says it's a good fit. I don't know. Granny seems to like it here. He fits well here. Like,
yeah, but it's better than being on a rebuilding San Jose Sharks team.
Yeah, being on a contender.
Winning Stanley Cups, yeah.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see.
Not that I'm saying Vegas is going to win a cup, but I mean, they're obviously in a much better position to do so than yield San Jose Sharks.
But my whole thing is I'm dying to know what Vegas would give up in that situation if it were to come to fruition.
I don't know what they have. Like,
that's exactly it, dude.
And that's obviously off the top of my head. I can't think of like what you would take. I mean,
was it White Cloud?
I'm sure
it's going to be something on the defensive end.
I don't even know what they have for prospects because again, this is a team that always goes for it. So I can't imagine their cupboard being.
They have to be. I was going to say they have to have one of the barest cupboards in the league.
I would imagine so. I mean, without having, I probably could have looked this up for the show, but without looking, like, logically speaking, you would have to imagine that their prospect pool is pretty bare.
And they can't have a whole bunch of draft picks because Lord knows they've given a ton of those away in deals. So I don't know, man.
Chris.
What?
Yes, I am wearing. These are compression gloves. They are. It's not because I'm cold. I'm gonna make this podcast super hip and with it. I have arthritis in my hands. My hands hurt all the time. There you go. Now I just wrecked the podcast by complaining about my arthritic hands on the pod.
So just from last week, we had talked about, I had it jotted down. It's like, oh my God, the shitting the bed in the third period must end. And then what happened this week? So far, and this is the thing that, again, is a kick to the Smalls. 39, I want to say it's 39 games this season. Is that accurate? Where's the 11, 22, 33? Yeah, okay, so 39 games.
Mm-hmm.
The Sharks have lost by a single goal 19 of those. So nearly half. They're 6 of 12 so far in December. And so you run the numbers. If the Sharks had won half of those, and so 19 games, we'll just say 18, split that. For that last game, we'll just say, okay, charity point. But the 18, let's split it. Okay, so say they win half of them. 9 wins, that's 18 points. We'll add the charity point, boom, 19 points. If you add 19 points to the current total that the Sharks have at 28, that would give you 47 points. With 47 points, the Sharks would be second in the Pacific Division. They'd be fourth in the conference. They would be sixth in the league if they were just 500. In those
they were just a better team.
Well, okay. I mean, if you want to use logic, fine. I mean, show off.
If they were just a better team, they'd be better.
But it's just, oh man, when the hell is that pendulum going to swing the other way? I don't know.
It's coming. Like, it's going to take time, right? Like, Celebrini is the start of it. And I think that's the one thing that, like, at least this season, it's not like, I mean, obviously, again, you can get fucked by the lottery balls, which is what concern we had going into the end of last year. That's a thing that can definitely still happen. But at least, like, this year, like, you can see tangible things. It's not, whoa, Macklin Celebrini is really good. And if the balls bounce our way, everything's going to be good. This year, you can see Yaroslav Askarov being just fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Macklin Celebrini being fucking awesome. You can see Will Smith occasionally figure it out. Not so much on that front, but, like, he has, in certain situations, he has shown signs of what I think he could be as an NHL player. The Barracuda, again, they got off to a pretty good start this year. A large part of that is Yaroslav Askarov, but there's still other guys down there that have kind of, pitched in and helped things out. The veterans obviously have pulled their weight too, which is a nice thing. But so like, and then you look at the, you go watch the World Juniors and, Brandon Svoboda's playing for the USA. Sam Dickinson finally gets put on the fucking power play because I don't know what Team Canada's doing. You know what I mean? Like, so you can see, like, there's tangible things now that we can see.
Oh, dude, I'm like jacked to see this team in a couple of years. Like, Quentin Musty shows up, Dickinson shows up, Muka Madulin's full time.
Yeah, I mean, on the Barracuda, I Luca Cagnoni. I mean,
Yep.
there's another guy who's been really good, who obviously looks like he's going to be something for this team going forward.
I'm surprised Graf hasn't gotten a look with the Sharks.
I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
I think I was kind of surprised that when with Eklund being out that he didn't get. I don't think Eklund's on the. Is he on the IR? I don't remember.
I don't think he's on IR. I think he's just
healthy. Yeah, he's just scratched because he's hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think they've actually put him officially on the IR. So I think that when you look at things like that, like there's definitely things to be excited about going forward. I think things are going to get better.
Well, I mean, if things continue the way they are, could you imagine back-to-back first-round picks?
Oh, it'd be great.
Or,
like, don't get me wrong.
Number one picks, I mean. But yeah, that would be certainly interesting. But yeah, we still have a little more time to.
You have the trade deadline to add to that draft pool.
Yep. And Tyga's saying trade Beasted.
You guys are
stop it. Although my dad came in and laid a good one in here and said Sharks need to just play in games that only have 2 periods. Absolutely.
100%. If they can just, since they can hold on through 2 periods and they can't hold on for 3, because again, it's not like they're dominating games and then coughing up games in the 3rd period. They're just, the dam finally breaks in the 3rd period. That's the.
All right, let's go to stock up on the week. Ferda boys. For me, my stock up this week, Will Smith, dude. I mean, we talked about this before, but like since being bumped up to the top 6 and playing with guys that are actually like talented, like he looks more confident, he's more comfortable, had a goal and assist against Vegas, and showed off that wicked chemistry with Celebrini. Like, again, we said this before, like maybe if you get Smith off the bottom 6, get him some talent on his line, like maybe he'll surprise you. So far, I've been pretty happy with what we've seen.
Yeah, when he's with Celebrini, I think it helps. I think they've got decent chemistry, and I think they're both so dynamic that they can play off each other really well. He's not going to play. He can't play off of fucking Luke Cunnin or Barclay Goodrow. And even like, I don't hate when he's with Wenberg, because I think Wenberg's a pretty defensively responsible centerman for the most part. So I don't hate when he's with Wenberg, but like,
yeah, but usually the other guy on that line is Goodrow.
Correct, right? So I mean, when you have a guy who, like in Wenberg, who I think who's fine, but he's not like super dynamic, and then you put like Luke Cunnin or fucking Barclay Goodrow there. I mean, what do you expect the kid to do, right? And I think there's definitely, like, I'm not saying like his game is without fault, because we've covered this extensively. Like there's definitely work he has to do on his game, but. Yeah, put him with Celebrini, and I feel like it's been, the results are usually better. So I don't know why you would split those guys up at this point.
Dude, Molasses and Tyga are coming for you, dude. They really
want
Beasthead gone.
He had a bad turnover. I agree. It was not a good look today. Like, I don't know, man.
Dude, you guys better go fight Jules on that one. Jules is a pretty big Beasthead fan from what I remember. But anyway. I mean, might he end up being a guy from the Guy Factory? Sure,
100%. Like, I don't think he has high things. I think, again, I think it's a guy who Philip Beasted's young. He has time to figure things out. I liked a lot what I saw earlier in the season. The AHL season's a fucking grind, man. Like, it's a fucking grind. Coming over from playing in Europe, like, I think. I don't know. I am not as concerned about Beasted as some other people are.
Or 2 other people are. Do you have a somebody else for stock up this week?
Oh, it's Macklin Celebrini, man. He's the only fucking reason I watch this team. Okay, it's him and Askarov. Like, Macklin Celebrini. The reason I give him stock up, obviously, is he's now leading all rookies in goal scoring. He's now tied, I think, with all rookies in points, and he's played
like 12 fewer games than right?
the people that he's chasing, right? He's gonna, at this rate, like, he's gonna easily walk away with the Calder. I know people in Montreal are gonna be super mad because Lane Hudson's a defenseman, so that makes it better. No, this guy's a fucking point a game player at 18. Shut up.
I'm telling you, dude.
Ferm Tabouche.
Kishmine took us.
I have to say to you people in Montreal.
All right. Stock down. Figure it out. For me, Kovalenko. I mean, dude had 5 helpers in the first week with the game, of his games with the Sharks. Mm-hmm. He's been off the score sheet for 4 straight, and then he got called out and got scratched last night. Like, bro, I was like super jacked about him showing up here in that deal in that first week or so, and now I'm kind of like, really? So yeah, Kovalenko, figure it out. You got anybody that you're kind of stocked down on?
It's Georgiev, man.
Georgiev, yeah.
It's just like he hasn't been good at all. And not that I expect him to be good, so maybe it's not fair, but like, I don't know, man. Mackenzie Blackwood died for this.
Mackenzie Blackwood got paid.
He did, and kudos to him, man. Kudos to him. Like, you want to talk about that for a minute?
We'll get there.
Okay.
But Georgiev, I think, is solid. I feel like your picks for like the rest of the season when it comes to stock down, it's like it's going to be a rotating cast of Ferraro, Georgiev, and like CC or something.
Cody CC.
So what else did it was it was a funky week because we had the 3 days off for the
Yeah.
holidays and everything. I was in a casino for the Vancouver game, and
Okay.
then and so I missed it. I didn't even see the Vancouver game, and then I was actually at the Calgary game last night. So usually I like to hear what's going on, but the funny thing that happened this week is you get this again. It's one of those things. Oh shit, we need content.
Mhm.
The Mercury local paper here is running a series on the four major teams: Niners, Giants, Warriors, Sharks,
Okay.
and it's the all 2000s team. From 2000
Oh.
today. What are the teams that the names that you would put together? And as soon as I saw like the Sharks were putting one together, it took me all of 5 seconds, and I just started writing down the names because it was 6 forwards, 4 defensemen, 2 goalies, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this might be the most obvious list in history, but I decided to write it down before I actually read the article just to see what I have the same ones. I got 5 out of the 6 forwards. I got 3 out of the 4 defensemen. I got both goalies. The people watching this right now, if you want to put in your picks, go ahead. We'll see how close you get. But yeah, 6 forward
2000s.
since 2000, you got to rewind it back like from the time Owen Nolan scored from center ice against the
Okay, so
Blues
the
in that
goalies are
playoff
Martin
game.
Jones and Evgeny Nabokov.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you want to start from the net out, but yeah, Jones and Nabokov, of
Jones and
course.
Nabokov. Those are the 4 defensemen. Obviously Boyle,
Yep.
Burns,
Yep.
Vlasic.
Yep.
Who's the fucking 4th?
Now I know who I had, and we both picked the same 3. That's obvious,
Yeah.
the most obvious, right?
Hannon?
See, he got a honorable mention.
Okay.
I
Not Scott Hannon.
I chose
Hmm.
I chose Braun, and I was wrong.
Really? Yeah, because that would have been my next go-to would be Justin Braun, but
Right?
not Justin Braun, not Scott Hannon.
Oh, and Chris Niemi and Toskala of all people got honorable mentions on the goalie.
I mean, Toskala. Before Toskala went to Toronto, he stole the net from Evgeny Nabokov. Let us not forget that was a thing that happened.
I'll give you that. But either way, I was still like, really? Okay.
No, Justin Braun. Wow.
Right?
Not Scott Hannon. Oh, it's got to be Mirko Mueller, right? No.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Fuck, I am drawing a blank.
Well,
Oh, Cranky. Yeah.
he got an honorable mention.
Fuck. Huh. No, I'm super.
Who's the defenseman that I really can't stand?
Oh, Eric Carlson. Fuck. Oh my God, Ian. What are you doing? Oh my God. How did I not get Eric Carlson?
I'm saying.
Jesus fucking Christ. How did I?
How do you miss that, buddy? But then again, I was the same. I had Brawny up there over Carlson because I was like, come on, Carlson was here for what, 5 years? He had one amazing season, one decent one. The other 3, he was either injured or he sucked.
Yeah, he won a Norris though.
Yeah. Well, okay, sure.
Oslin should be 2. Oslin should be 2 before. That's
Yeah,
90s.
Oslin was 90s. This is the all 2000s team. But
okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Carlson, that's brilliant.
And another honorable mention, and I didn't even think about this, and I was like, that might have been my second after Braun, was Stewart.
Brad Stewart. That was another name I was kind of thinking of, but I'm trying to remember timeline.
All right. And so your 6 forwards, chances are you're gonna get 5 out of 6 like I did. We'll see if you hit the 6th one. It's a total BuzzFeed. You won't believe number 3.
You won't believe. Okay, so it's obviously Joe Thornton, Joe Pavelski, Patrick Marleau.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Okay, that's Pavelski. Clough?
No, but
Ryan Clough.
that was the one that I had.
Okay.
That was incorrect.
Danny Heatley.
Nope.
Really? Okay. fuck, forwards. Like, this should be easy. I can't believe I'm struggling. After now that I fucked up Erik Karlsson, I'm like super gonna like be in my own head about this.
Threw you off your game, bro.
Yeah. Holy shit. Forwards. 2000s. I mean, Owen Nolan.
Nope. Honorable mention, but no.
Honorable? How do you have fucking Owen Nolan as an honorable mention?
Chloe and Nolan, honorable mentions. Oh, you're not going to believe the sixth one. When I tell you who 4 and 5 were, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But the sixth one, you're going to be like,
Logan Couture. Did I say Logan Couture?
No, you did not. That's number 4.
Jesus Christ, Logan Couture.
That's 4. Well, it has been some time since we've seen the guy.
I know. Oh, God. Not Danny Healy.
It's in the chat.
Is Jonathan Chichu going to be on this?
No, I don't even know that he got an honorable mention. He had one great season.
That's true. But he won a Rocket, so.
It's in the chat.
Barclay Goodrow, really?
Not that
one.
Oh,
Tomas Hertl. Yeah.
There you go.
Hertl.
Okay. Care to take a flyer on who the sixth one was? So it's, Thornton, Pavelski, Marleau. No. Thornton, Pavelski, Marleau, Hertl, Couture. Seto, I think, is a decent shot, but I would have put Chloe above him.
Yeah, but I already said Chloe.
Yeah.
That didn't fly. So, Marty Havlat. Oh man, I feel really dumb right now. It's gonna be something that you're gonna tell me, and I'm gonna be like, of course.
Let me give you a hint.
Okay.
5 goals.
Roenick?
Nope. 5 goals.
5 goals. 5 goals. 5 goals. Who else scored 5 goals? Tyler Kennedy.
Jesus. All right, I'm gonna end this suspense. Who scored 5 goals against?
Oh, Timo Meier. Fuck.
There you go.
Yeah, Timo Meier. I'm an idiot. Of course, it's Timo Meier.
And I think Owen Nolan, Ryan Claude, Timo Meier. I think any of those 3 could, but the other 5 I completely agree with. But I think that last one, I think
Ian's a fake Ian. Yeah. Again, it's like Timo Meier. It's like out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yep.
Same with Erik Karlsson. Fucking, that's brutal. Fucking brutal. Oh my God.
All right.
Timo Meier makes sense. That totally tracks.
Because I was, on holiday for the beginning of the week for Christmas and all of that, didn't see the game, and then I was at the game last night. So all I had was the game against Vegas on TV for NBCSN to make a mistake. And the broadcast did not make a mistake. However, coming in to save the day at the last minute was the, I guess the graphics team has decided to also do the Twitter. And they decided to put out this tweet where the headline said, "Did Clean Kristen make the right move?" And I think it took them 3 hours and a bunch of mocking for them to delete this and then correct it. And you can see that, because Shang writes the lion's share of their content.
Right.
You can see that the headline from the actual embedded article, Costin, is spelled correctly. So it's whoever typed this, Clean Kristen.
Because they auto-corrected it is what happened.
Okay, so maybe you take a second and just read the thing before you hit send, or post or whatever. But either way, NBCSN, you continue to not let me down in making weekly mistakes that we can make fun of.
Clem Kristen.
And again,
noted my favorite player, Clem Kristen.
And, again, don't be mad at me for calling out the mistakes. Be mad at yourself for making them. All right. Getting to the NHL at large, just a few things. The Sabres finally won a game. Exactly 1 month since beating the Sharks on Thornton retirement night. So congrats to you, Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, what a mess they are.
I love the fact that the Sharks are literally 32nd in the league right now by points percentage, and we still just like take solace in the fact that at least we're not the
Buffalo.
Sabres. Yeah, we're not Buffalo. I love that.
So true. It's so true though. I feel so terrible for Sabres fans because again, like it wasn't like they never drafted the guys. They drafted the guys, they just didn't keep them. And they went on to do really awesome things in other places.
Alexander piling on. I'm happy to say I haven't watched a single second of pregame or postgame this season or intermission reports. It's been a little tough. Not gonna lie.
But I mean, like, you know what though? But it's bad. You want to talk about bad things going on in the East. As bad as the Sabres are, the New York Rangers are 1 point ahead of them in the standings. 1 point. This is a team that won the President's Trophy last year. This is a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Well, dude, look at Nashville. You know how they went.
Yeah.
They brought in all that, spent all that money, brought in all that talent, and off a fucking cliff. But that's not where I thought you were going to go with that. I thought you were going to go like, if you think that you think the Sabres are bad, have you watched the Sharks pre and post game?
No. I generally don't have the privilege or fortunate or unfortunates of getting the Sharks feed at this point. So,
dude, yeah, it's it seems every week there's a new Reddit thread talking about that it's getting worse, not better. I don't know. Just everybody's entitled to their opinion. Lord knows that I think that Al could definitely use some practice. When I first started off as a DJ, dude, I sucked. And you know what I did? I spent all my free time practicing.
I feel bad. I'm sure he's a nice dude, but like it's hard to watch.
You can be a nice guy and not be very good at a job that you have.
Here I am.
Yeah.
And you might not even be able to argue the latter very well.
Also happening in the league this week, somewhat Sharks related, I guess. Detroit firing the boogeyman, Bobby B, and bringing in T-Mac.
He was the associate coach, so they fired what's his face.
But I mean, it was just for the Sharks spin, it's like, okay, Bugner's no longer there. They bring in T-Mac, who of course can't go anywhere without Trent Yanni. And I was like, what? No Jay Woodcroft? Isn't he still?
Jay Woodcroft's graduated from he's graduated from being Todd McClellan's lackey.
I would still sign Jay Woodcroft to take over the Barracuda if we could. But anyway,
I think he's waiting for bigger and better things.
Yeah. But did you see the quote that they had from T-Mac earlier this week, like yesterday, the day before, where he says like, play fucking hockey. You guys have been doing it your whole life.
Yeah, I like Todd McClellan for the Red Wings. I like Todd McClellan as a coach. He's a coach that players generally speak pretty highly of, unless you're a San Jose Shark.
I was going to say, unless you're Joe Thornton.
Unless you're Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton doesn't think very much of him. But I think in general, players do like playing for Todd McClellan. Detroit's a mess. Again, like I think they've got some pieces, but I think that
they literally gave the Sharks Woolman.
They did give the Sharks Woolman.
That's how bad it is.
And the Sharks have had two of their top picks. Not that these aren't Yzerman guys, but like Klim Kostin and Philip Zadina were both pretty high Sharks or high Red Wings picks.
Yeah.
That the Sharks also have scooped up off the junk heap. So
I just love it. Here, have Woolman and take this second round pick for your efforts.
Second round pick, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like this for Detroit. I think that I don't know what Detroit's doing. I don't have any faith in the Yzer plan at this point for them. But I do think that Todd McClellan's a better coach than what they had.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. But I still want to know what the hell happened between Jumbo and T-Mac, because I mean, literally, you could have changed that part of Jumbo's speech to be like, and I'd just like to thank all my coaches except T-Mac. Fuck that guy.
T-Mac, fuck that guy. Yeah.
Mackenzie
Wasn't surprised.
Yeah, Mackenzie Blackwood got his bag from Colorado, 5.2 times 5. I wouldn't have had a problem with the Sharks signing into that deal, to be honest.
No, I would have, because at some point you're going to have to play Askarov, and then you're paying two goalies that much money, right? Like, doesn't make sense for the Sharks.
Well, but I mean, but how long? What's Askarov's deal right now? Like, how long is
2-year deal?
Well, then yeah, I would have had a problem with that.
Right? So like, yeah, so in year 3 of Mackenzie Blackwood's deal,
Yeah, you would
you're
have had
gonna
like 10
pay
million in net. Yeah.
right? Like it's not a good thing. I'm happy for Mackenzie Blackwood. I think he's been pretty good for the Avs so far. I hope that they have a good playoff run with him because I do like Mackenzie Blackwood a lot. And
Oh,
I only
hell
want
yeah.
nice things for the guy. But if that was what the Sharks would have had to do to keep him, it just didn't make sense with what they were doing.
Another thing that came out this week, I don't even get this story, to be honest. Again, it's people searching for content in a slow news week. Winter Classic locations, but thinking outside the box. And I went,
On the moon.
Dude, might as well be. The 10, and the other thing I really enjoy about this is at the bottom of this list of 10, it says honorable mentions, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it has 6 more places where it's like, don't put honorable mentions. It's like, here's the 6 places. We couldn't think of 4 more to make it 20.
Couldn't make it 20.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But every one of these,
or do a 15 and then do an honorable mention,
right?
Like,
yeah, but
it's not rocket science.
Lake Louise. All right.
Where's Lake Louise again?
Well, it's between the Oilers and the Flames, is what they're proposing.
Oh, yeah, okay, right, yeah.
So I'm assuming somewhere Alberta-ish.
Mhm.
But anyway, just I'm kind of like, all right. The funny thing about this list, what they didn't say is it should be the top 10 places to hold a Winter Classic that it's like Lake, that isn't Lake Tahoe, because every one of these places, there's no room to put seats, really.
Right.
The National Mall in Washington, D.C., good luck with that. One of my favorite selections, Central Park.
I mean, neat, right? Like, super neat, but like, I don't know, again, yeah, logistically a nightmare.
Well, but not only that, but again, like, isn't the whole thing of the Winter Classic supposed to be like so fans can come and watch? I guess I don't know.
Fuck fans, they don't care about fans. Yes, Lake Louise is Banff National Park. I know that's a terrible question. I look at the end of the week when Dave Cameron hands in his Canadian citizenship, I'll hand in mine with it.
Niagara Falls. All right.
Niagara Falls would be it'd be like, again, like, super neat ideas. I just the bloom's off the rose, man. Like, if the Sharks aren't playing in it, I don't care.
Yeah. Mount Rushmore, but they're proposing between the Wild and Utah. And I'm like, if it's Mount Rushmore, how is it not the Capitals as one of the teams? Right?
Yeah.
Then Disney World in Florida, between the Panthers and the Light. I don't know. That just reeks of sponsorship, and it's going to go wrong. Grant Park, which I guess is some venue in Chicago, whatever.
Oh, yes, Chicago definitely needs more winter classics.
Exactly. Yeah. Why can't we get Chicago more outdoor games?
What's the big tall building there?
Used to be the Sears Tower. I don't know what it's called. Willis Tower? I don't know what
Willis
it is.
Tower. Yeah, there you go. On top of Willis Tower. Just build it.
Oh, this one I thought was interesting. The Santa Monica Pier. Now, obviously, they would have to do it in the parking lot. They can't do it on the actual pier. But still, I was like, okay, the background of that would be kind of cool. It could be interesting.
Yeah, like again, like, I think it's neat.
It'd look great on TV.
It would look amazing on TV.
Yeah, just like the Tahoe one did when they had to show it at midnight because of the sun.
Yeah.
When they had to delay it for 12 hours. Right?
Brutal. Yeah.
The Stanley Park, which I don't even know where this is, somewhere between Seattle and Vancouver.
Yeah, the Stanley Park thing is Vancouver.
All right. But the final one on this list, well, let's get to the honorable mentions really quick. Yosemite Valley, good luck with, why not Death Valley? The Las Vegas Strip, the fuck out of here. Like, they already have the F1 and they hate it. Yellowstone National Park, no. Prince Edward Island, yeah, let's do an island. Apostle Island.
Okay, like PI. Prince Edward Island is a really big island. There's a lot of places you could do it on PEI. That would be pretty fucking boss.
Well, Manhattan is a pretty big island.
Yeah, PEI is bigger than Manhattan.
But the number 10 on this list is Alcatraz in the San Francisco Bay. And I'm like, where? Like,
I
have you
don't
ever
know.
visited Alcatraz? Like, you would have
You
to.
should have a playoff game there because prison yard rules in the playoffs. So I mean, at least that would match.
But you would have to like literally scrape buildings in order to make all that happen. Not to mention you want to, like how players, staff, all the shit that would have to be boated in.
Oh yeah, it's
Like,
it's like again, it's something that would probably look neat as fuck on television, but logistically a nightmare.
yeah, just like, oh my God. Like, again, I guess, congrats on, coming up with some content during a slow week, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
I don't know, man.
Christ almighty. Like, and I was like, oh, it should have been like top 10 places to play without fans. There you go. Evidently it came out earlier. I think I saw you retweet it that the 2025 NHL Draft is now set to take place June 28th or 27th and 28th at the Peacock Theater in LA and will be the first decentralized draft. Okay, what's so funny?
Right. Alcatraz, just don't drop your stick.
Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. Dude, it hasn't been a prison in like, what, 60 years?
I don't care. That's fantastic.
But solid. Solid. All right.
Yes, Antarctica, where it's sunny all the fucking time right now. Is it Antarctica where it's sunny all the time right now? I don't remember which way the Earth works.
Well, either way, so we're going to have our first decentralized draft.
Yeah, boo.
Well, I don't know. Do you think maybe some teams, now that it's decentralized, maybe they don't kind of like petition the league to host a draft? I mean, it's still going to get the same,
I don't understand, like, why. I think it's dumb.
to decentralize
I know,
it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the
think it's
NFL's
me
been that
having-
way for decades.
I know. And I'm sure it works for them, but this is...
Honestly, I don't give a shit. I
Yeah.
think if anything, maybe we see more trades because
I don't think so. You can't get trades with everybody on the floor together.
well, see, I was
You need a
thinking
trade.
maybe you get more trades because now you don't, like if I'm Mike Greer and I'm thinking, oh, I'd like to try to work out a deal with, with somebody, for this team. And then you look over and you see that team talking to a different team, I wonder what the fuck's going on, now
Yeah.
everybody's interactions, you don't know who's talking to who.
Yeah, I don't
In
know.
the moment, anyway.
It's I don't know, man. I don't like it. I think, like, I guess there's going to be like the top prospects will still be there, so I don't know who's going to be there to put the jersey on them. Like, it's just like it's tradition. It's been over 100 years of tradition to just kind of throw it away.
Do you believe the conspiracy that this is all just Gary Bettman to get more camera time?
No, I think they're just trying to like cut costs or whatever, and I get that, and I think that GM's probably the problem with the NHL draft is that free agency is like days after the draft,
Yeah.
and I think that bothers a lot of teams. They would rather be able to do the draft remotely so that they can focus on free agency. Whatever. I understand it from their perspective. I just think that it's the 100 years of tradition you're just kind of throwing away, and I just don't like it.
Well, was the last draft wasn't it like, okay, Friday and Saturday, and then the following Monday was free agent frenzy. Yeah. So it's that.
Yeah,
I
I completely understand the why and why teams don't like it, but I just but it sucks at the same time. Like, I think the draft is cool. And I appreciate that not everyone is is that hardcore about it, where the draft is like a big deal to them. I think for a lot of fans, they don't give a shit about the draft. They just wait for that guy to finally show up on their NHL squad before they care. I'm not discounting that. I just think it's unfortunate. I think that having all the teams and players in one place, I think, is pretty cool.
I wonder if they're gonna like, I don't know, start treating it. I'm gonna say Super Bowl, and the reason why I'm bringing up the Super Bowl is like maybe we try to hold it in an area that has nice weather. Maybe that gives them the opportunity to. I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of vignettes and videos done about the the top 20 projections. They're going to do a lot of video packages and whatnot. So of course you're going to want to do it in a place like LA or Miami or some place worth going to. I'm interested to see that. The other thing being is like the Sharks have had 2 All-Star games and a stadium game, almost 35 years in existence. They've never hosted a draft. And I don't think, honestly, that the Sharks are pining to do it.
Probably not. Like, again,
Yeah.
I don't think, like,
Rather have a
and
stadium
it
game.
depends on where your team is too, right? Like, hosting the draft is cool when your team's gonna pick high, but if
Yeah,
like
last
for
year
a
would have
long
been
time,
great.
yeah, like for last year would have been pretty fucking amazing, right? But you know what I mean? But I think for local fans, especially if you're like your team is good and it's like, oh, let's see who my team's gonna draft at 28. Oh, nope, they traded out of the first round.
You know what would be
You know
really
what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what would be really cool is that if it was like whoever, and obviously you need to, finesse all the different things, but whoever hosts or whoever wins the top pick by default, that city hosts the draft.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be funny.
But again, like,
But people would be scrambling.
yeah, like you need to know these things way in advance.
Exactly, but it would still be pretty funny. Anyway,
fun.
All right, let's get to that other team for a hot minute.
Ooh, Barracuda.
Well, no Askarov, no problem. We're still going to win some games, I guess. The Barracuda right now have fallen to 4th by points percentage, just behind Calgary, Ontario, and Colorado. And they had a pair in Henderson. I'm not sure which one Jerk went to. It was probably the one that they won because, hashtag jerk bump.
Right.
But,
yeah, I'm gonna give him credit and say that he was the reason that the Barracuda won a game.
Right. So 5-2 victory followed by a 5-2 loss. And here comes Jules. Hey, Jules, do me a favor. Bring up Beasted. Watch what happens. Anyway, in the first game versus Henderson, Romanov saves 22 of 24 as Podorowski and Carlson each score twice. And meanwhile, Ethan Cardwell has 3 helpers, doesn't even make one of the 3 stars. Sad. Anything that stand out for you in that first game that you liked?
I'm not gonna lie, the World Juniors are going on right now, so like the AHL just gets bumped down a little bit unless I kind of had an eye on it, but I've been watching the World Juniors more.
Takes a little backseat. It's all right.
Yeah, it takes a little backseat, right? I think from what I watched, I thought Georgi Romanov was really good in this game. I don't
not so
think
much
was,
today.
I don't think he was the reason they lost today. But again, I think it's been a lot of it's been a lot of the veterans kind of carrying the water. And if the veterans aren't going, it doesn't seem like there's a lot else going with the Barracuda right now. I think that again, it's the same fucking song and dance with this team, man. Like they're undisciplined still. They take a lot of dumb penalties. And I don't think it helps. Like I think this is, the team that's one of the most penalized teams in the league again.
Shocker. Yeah. Seems to be a feature, not a bug.
Right. I think it's they did good in the game they won. I don't think that they were fantastic today. I thought Georgi Romanov was fine playing back-to-back games. Obviously he's gonna probably be playing a lot because the other alternative right now is Aaron Dell. Although I wonder if Gabriel Carrier might get swapped with Dell at some point because he had a shutout the other day in the ECHL.
And he's part of the future, so why wouldn't you, give him a little bit more of a look?
I don't know if he's part of the future. I think he's more of a guy that took a flyer on faith. He's only on an AHL deal. He's not on a like he can't come to the Sharks without getting a contract. He's on an AHL only deal. But
I feel like we know what we have in Dell.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. Like it's been pretty typical Barracuda hockey of late, right? I think that, concerningly, they're like 5-5 in their last 10, and most of those games in the most recent of those 10s have been losses. So it's definitely a little bit of a concerning trend. I'm not super worried about them yet, though, because I think they would have to do some catastrophic falling to fall out of the playoffs.
It'll be interesting to see what their record is without Askarov.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a challenge, right? Because I think that Askarov did, kind of
Stole some
shelter
games.
them from some of. Yeah, he definitely stole some games. I think his play definitely covered up some of the weak comings of this team. And I hate the way I talk about the Barracuda because I listen back to it. I make them sound like the worst fucking team in the league, and they're not. But I do think that there are concerning flaws in the team, as there are in most AHL teams. And I think as the injuries pile up for the Sharks, like so far, you like you mentioned earlier, it's been kind of one guy in, one guy out. But now it's like Vanacek, and now Grunstrom. We don't know what the story there is. We don't know when Eklund's coming back. Like, if they do start to actually accumulate injury, obviously that's going to be at the expense of the Barracuda. Now, that is the role of the AHL squad. That's what they're there for. But it's going to make a team that's already kind of floundering a little bit. It's gonna increase the pain for them, I think. Especially if you call up a guy like Colin Graff, or you bring up a guy like Ethan Cardwell again, who I really like his game. It hasn't been a good run of late for the Barracuda. I hope they can snap out of it. I think they can. They have the tools to snap out of it. But right now it's been a lot of the veterans carrying the water for the Barracuda, and that's what you want. But also you want to see like the kids step up, right? But you are getting into the point now where some of your first year players are going to start hitting that wall that a lot of rookies do. Guys like, I think, Luca Cagnoni's been fine, but I think like you got to worry about him a little bit at this point. That
been a couple of games you haven't seen him on the score sheet.
Yeah, and it's hard. Like making the adjustment to the pro game is difficult. And I think that some guys do. You can see very notably hit walls, and I think Philip Beasted's definitely hit a wall. I think the overreaction to his wall has been absurd, but he's definitely hit a wall. And I think you're starting to see that maybe a little bit with Cagnoni as well.
I like that Jules did like show up right when we went to the Barracuda thing. I thought that was like very fortunate timing.
I'm not super concerned about them yet, but again, like I said, if you look at their past 10, they're 5-5, and if you look deeper, a lot of those losses have come more recently.
Well, the second game was a loss, but Graff had a sick shorty in there. Do yourself a favor, go to the Barracuda Twitter and go take a look at that. Basically scored 1 on 5. But like I said, Henderson would get redemption for the game before. Thompson and Bordelot, though, each had assists in both games. That's another guy like Jack Thompson. I really liked his game when he was up with the Sharks. So again, you talked about meritocracy early on, and I'm sitting there going, has Thompson not done more than a Ruda or a CC on some of these things? But
yeah, but in some of those situations, right? Like you have to manage your roster according to what you can do with it. And the unfortunate thing for Jack Thompson is I think as good as he was, but he was having trouble sticking in the lineup regardless.
Well, him and Thrun keep rotating.
Right. And when you're in a situation where you can send a guy down and get him more minutes and more situations, which he is getting on the Barracuda, that's the play, right? Because I'm with you guys sometimes where it's like, yes, I would love to see Barclay Goodrow get fucking scratched.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
For a game here.
Hold on. Molasses just put, guess who didn't get on the score sheet? His name starts with a B. And is not Bordelot. I thought he was saying starts with a B and ends in Bordelot. And I'm like, wait a minute. We just said he had an assist in both games. Alexander's saying, I've yet to go to a Barracuda game where they've won. Dude, I think I've gone to like 5 CUDA games this year. They've won every single time. So I don't know. Maybe it's you, dude. So
look, Phil Beast is what, 20 years old? Like,
we're going back to this.
Calm down. I just people need to calm down a little bit. Like, I don't understand.
Let him marinate a little more. Not everybody is Dylan Gambrell. All right, calm down.
And a guy and his dogs, like, they need to trade veterans away for Thompson to play more, and that's true, right? I mean, but you don't want to just like arbitrarily like look at the Rangers right now, right? You don't want to just arbitrarily piss off your veterans for the sake of pissing off your veterans.
Are CC and Ruda, aren't they FA after the season?
Yeah.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah, so you can trade, but you're not going to just like, like everyone's like, oh, well, you just got to start scratching Barkley Goodrow all the time, and you got to, and just send fucking Rudo through waivers. But that's not how you manage your assets. Like, it's not good asset management. As much as I'd like to see a guy like Jack Thompson get some more time, it's got to it's got to be for the right reasons.
I'll give you that. Jeez. So
who's this people? Like the whole Discord molasses. It's not just you. It's you. It's Tiger. I don't
know. This week, the CUDA will start the new year in San Diego on Wednesday before coming home for a pair against the Colorado Eagles next weekend. Again, that Colorado series is going to be pretty meaningful because, as I stated earlier, Colorado right now is just ahead of them in the standings. And next Saturday is evidently CUDA Mania Night, which evidently is some sort of wrestling theme. I don't follow scripted or choreographed athletic displays. If you do, that's your jam. Go for it. But just wanted to put that out there that there's some sort of a theme night. I'm morbidly curious, but anyway. And then coming up I should say, follow Teal Town USA, Ian Reed, Sharks Jules, Kevin Lacey on the social media for more discussion about the prospects in Barracuda. This week for the Sharks, they're going to host the Flyers. I think everybody is like, the media will probably have a good amount of fun. Celebrini versus Michkov. Let's just,
it's gonna be good. Yeah.
I'm hoping
I'm excited for that reason. If you're not excited for that reason, I don't know how to sell you this game.
Right. And honestly, I'm kind of shocked that during the Vegas and Calgary games on the broadcast, that we didn't hear, a bit more promotion of that. I think that's kind of a missed opportunity.
100%.
Right. But also I couldn't even believe this was a legit, the first ever time in franchise history that San Jose is hosting a game on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that blows me away because Lord knows it seemed like things you could count on: death, taxes, the Sharks playing a road game on New Year's Eve. Like, I remember, and it seemed like the Sharks would get it handed to them almost every New Year's Eve. Like, I remember them getting pushed in their locker against Dallas. I think I want to say maybe there was a game against Nashville or somebody. I just remember them getting it handed to them. So I'm going to be interested to see how the Sharks actually, what the whole in-game experience is for New Year's Eve and all of that. Then the Sharks are going to finish off this homestand. The Lightning coming back in, and if you remember the way I do, I believe the last time they faced the Lightning, they got their lunch money stolen 8-1 in Tampa.
It was bad.
Whew. And then the Devils come to town. Enjoy the Timo video, everybody. And oh man, hold on. Let me see here in the chat real quick. What is AJ? You do watch the NFL? Don't lie. Did I say I didn't?
I think he's talking about highly choreographed.
Okay. That's funny. I didn't get this year's script, so I don't know. And then Sharks last thing. For those who know Nick the Blue Coat, he will be celebrating his birthday at the Jan 4th CUDA game, so show him some love. All right, well, there are definitely a couple.
Nick Nolenberger's a Blue Coat too? Like, geez, what is going on with this franchise? Everyone's doing everything.
Oh my God. And then Alexander saying, I do not like the new Blue Coat uniforms. Well, is it because now it's a vest? It's no longer a coat. Blue vest just doesn't roll off the tongue quite like Blue Coat. I'll tell you. I certainly had an experience with a couple Blue Coats last night. Let me let you know. Anyway, that's so Devils, the Timo video should be good. I don't know that he's going to get the hero's welcome that Hurdle got a couple days ago, but it is what it is. But Flyers, Lightning, and Devils, I mean, I don't have a lot of confidence in seeing the Sharks beat the Lightning. I don't know that I have that much confidence in them beating the Devils. Like, maybe the Flyers?
I mean, the Flyers, that should be that should be a game. Like I think if you remember the last time these two teams played, like Macklin Celebrini and Michkov kind of got into a little bit. Like this is a game like the at least the Sharks young kids. I think especially Will Smith too, man, because like it, especially like if you go on social media, everyone's like, we got Will Smith instead of Michkov. We're so dumb. If you're Will Smith and you can't get up for that game, I don't fucking know, man.
Right, dude. And dude, California cruising here trying to poke the bear with a story time about the Bluecoats. Nope, nope, not doing it. You ain't sucking me into that. So remember to like and subscribe. Help keep us commercial free by using the super chat option during the live shows. Better yet, find us on Venmo at Tealtown USA, and you can find links to our social media, podcast apps, and more included in the show notes. Find everything on tealtownusa.com. And remember, we're on Blue Sky now. So bada bing, bada boom. Sharks Jules predicting that the Sharks will go 1-2-0 this week. California Cruising saying 0-2-1. Either way, we're all saying that the Sharks are going to lose at least 2 games this week.
Yeah, I don't think the pain ends anytime soon. They might have a good showing. They should have a good showing against the Flyers. That is my opinion. I think that this is a team that the Sharks should have a good showing against. I think that they're going to have to. I mean, if you look at the way the Devils have played lately, I mean, they're gonna have a hard time hanging with the Devils. And Tampa's still like, they're not the juggernaut they once were, but they are still a really good team, as they showed to the Sharks earlier in the year. So I think those teams are going to be tough, but I feel like if they can't get up for that Flyers game, then I don't fucking know what this team can get up for.
Well, dude, I mean, and it's got to be.
And even the Flyers aren't like, the Flyers are still playing 500 hockey. Like they're not like they've been terrible. So
well, and it's got to be. Look, I don't give a shit what they say with all the the post game commentary has, it's just been cliche after cliche after cliche. And I get it. There's only so many different ways somebody can phrase. So you guys sick of losing yet?
Yeah.
So I get that.
I mean, I'm having a hard time figuring out new and exciting ways to talk about these games.
I'm telling you. Let's hold on. Why does no one hit like on the TT cast? Hit it? What are we talking about? I don't even get that, dude. And Alexander saying, but AJ, your rants are legendary. Well, I'll tell you this right now. I'm kind of putting one together because I believe next week we will have reached the point of the halfway point, right? Because we're 39 games in. So next week we're going to be halfway through the season. Might I go off on the NBCSN a little harder? Who knows? I'm getting a little tired of what I'm seeing over there, but that's just me. Yeah, that's all I got, man. Any last looks in the chat before we get out of here?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to on a completely unrelated but still hockey note, I want to fire everyone who's been involved in this iteration of Team Canada, the World Juniors. I think they should all be fired into the sun. It's interesting though, but I think like the tournament this year has actually been pretty interesting to watch. I know that my American friends are probably not happy with the results of the U.S. Finland game today, but I thought that was easily the best game of the tournament so far. And yeah, it's crazy how like the first in the pool for that pool is jump ball still, which I think is absolutely crazy. And it sucks because I have to pretend to watch the Sharks game on New Year's Eve when I'm absolutely not watching it. I'm going to be watching USA Canada, let's be honest.
Well, that's what DVRs are for and all of that.
Yeah, I watch everything on my computer though, so it's I mean, I can watch the Sharks game after the fact, but I'm definitely going to be more paying attention to USA Canada over whatever the Sharks are doing.
And cruising, I was going to say, Callie Cruising asking, how did Canada lose to Latvia?
I mean, you got to watch the game. Look at the problem with Team Canada. Here's the problem with Team Canada. And I don't want to get us here for like going forever on this. My take on Team Canada is that last year they were too cute, and they tried to do too much sizzle, and there wasn't enough stake in their game. So what Team Canada does always in these situations when they don't medal is they fucking overanalyze it and just go too far in the other direction. So now what they've done is they've built a team that you would build for a 7-game series, not a single game round robin, single game elimination tournament. So they've loaded up on too many grinders and they don't have enough scorers. They left a guy who I'm gonna completely continue hammering this because it's ridiculous. Michael Misa, who is I think like at a 2-point a game clip right now in the OHL. Didn't even get invited to camp. He's going to be a top 5 pick. Zane Perrick, I think, was like 9th overall last season, not on the team. Sam Dickinson, they didn't even put Sam Dickinson on the power play till last game because, again, like they're trying to I don't know what they I guess they decided they were just going to grind out these games 1-0. We're fucking Canada. Like that's not how we win hockey games, international tournaments. We just fucking steamroll people. And when you're a country like Canada, I'm not like, I am way too old to be like super mad about this, and I don't want people to be like, I'm so angry. But like, look at man, when you're Team Canada, it's gold or nothing. Like there's no silver isn't good enough, bronze isn't good enough. It's gold, always fucking gold. And this team, I think they get worked by the States on New Year's Eve, and I don't know what happens after that. I mean, they lose to Latvia. They had way harder time with Germany. Like the only saving grace for Team Canada, in my opinion, going into that New Year's Eve game, is that Trey Augustine hasn't been that great. That's the only thing that they have going for them against the States, because I think the States is a better constructed team.
What I'm trying to think. Tell me I'm wrong, or at least help me jog my memory. I have a very, very vivid memory. I want to say it was Team Canada women's hockey in a particular Olympics, maybe not the last one, but maybe the one prior to that, where the Canada women took silver, and like, I don't know if it was the captain of the team or like the second, but like they put the medal on her, and as soon as they went to the next person, she took it off.
Yeah,
she was just because gold or nothing.
Because when you're Canada, it's gold or nothing. Like that is what you play for. Like different countries obviously have different things that they have to play for. The USA lost today to Finland, but that's fine because look at hockey. There's 5 powers in hockey, right? One of them's not playing because fuck Russia, Sweden, Finland, the US, Canada. Like those are your 5 hockey powers. So losing to Finland, not an ideal outcome for the States, obviously, but still like an acceptable one. Losing to Latvia, completely unacceptable.
I want to say, was there somebody, I don't know whether it was, I thought it was Team Canada. I might be wrong. I can't remember if it was men or women, but I thought there was somebody that was like so ticked off from winning, silver or bronze, or like they put it on and then they like tossed the medal like into the stands or something.
Was not Team Canada. That was, they lost. I think it was Sweden. It was what's his name? Elias Anderson. I think he's Swedish. He was a Kings prospect, or a Rangers prospect. I think he's in the Kings system now. Sweden or Finn? He's a Swede or Finn. I can't remember. I feel like Swede, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it was a World Junior.
And all right, last one before we get out of here. Alexander says, look on the bright side for the Sharks season so far. At least home fans have gotten lots of tacos. That is true.
True that.
They're scoring a lot more. So, I mean, at least there's that. I can't remember the last time I've seen a team in the basement get so much coverage. I mean, Sportsnet just did, an after hours thing with Celebrini. You're seeing Smith and Celebrini get a whole bunch of pub from a TikTok video where I guess they were doing an impression of LeBron or whatever.
Yeah.
But and then who's the dude? Shit. He was on. I remember he did a couple appearances on Shoresy or Letterkenny, one of them.
Okay.
What's AD? Rear Admiral?
Yeah. The Chicklets guy.
And he does a Grind My Gear segment or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's been sending a lot of love about Celebrini. Like, that's like I think a couple people put, like, I can't remember the last time the Sharks forced me to stay up this late to watch games, right? Because Celebrini is just something that he's just a kid that, fuck, man, you gotta watch this.
Yeah,
Or
and he's not wrong. Like
yeah,
I worry. Like I I think the biggest fear for us is that we start to take him for granted.
yeah. Oh God, I hope not. And
Yeah.
I feel like Drew is not going to allow that to happen.
No, and we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because it's insane the thing. Like again, like if Celebrini is like the reason why I might watch 2 periods instead of 1 and then go to bed.
No, I feel you.
And then watch the rest the next day, right? Like I might watch an extra period if Celebrini's on.
Well, and I would say credit to the Sharks this week. I can't remember the last time they sold out back-to-back games. And this week they said, both games were sold out. Now, I was at the game last night. There was clearly some people that decided not to use their tickets for that game. That's fine. But they distributed them all. They were all sold. And, maybe the holidays plays into that because people are, home for I mean, didn't Dana go to both games because she happened to be here? Yeah. So you have that. The Vegas game, I don't believe had any sort of a giveaway.
That was just Hurdle.
Yeah, so it was the return. Hurdle coming home. Then the next night you had the friendship bracelet giveaway thing, which seemed to be pretty popular. So I mean, credit to them. Let's see how they finish out this streak of home games. What did I say? It's Philly, Tampa, Jersey. And, wait a minute, Vegas again? Really?
Yeah.
Good Lord. When was the last time the Sharks
It's a weird thing. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Started a homestand against a team and then it ended against the same team just like a week and a half later. That's
weird quirk of the schedule.
Yep. What are you going to do? All right, everybody. So thanks for hanging out with us on this Sunday night. We'll be back next week. Enjoy the new year, however you guys decide to celebrate. I think I'm probably gonna park my ass on my couch. After 30 years of DJing and always being in a club, it's nice to be in a quiet locale on New Year's.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just gonna watch hockey. That's
right.
Yeah, that's all. I'm gonna be watching hockey.
But we'll
super
be
exciting.
We'll be back for 2025 next Sunday. Usual, same bat time, same bat channel, and that'll do it. Hold on, and my dad is coming in. He's leaving it in the chat. Go Comets, right? Fort Wayne Comets. ECHL, baby. My jersey's still hanging up.
If I had more time to watch more hockey.
Right? All right. And, wait, I was going to send them. Oh, wait a minute. I had 4 tickets in my account for Friday's game that went to waste because I wasn't allowed to transfer them. Oh, that's how can you not transfer those? So, and was going to send them to us, Steel Town, so we could give them away to listeners. Oh, man, that sucks. Make it easier. And you know what? Before we get out of here, Brody did a really solid video that basically went off on, make sports easier to consume.
Yeah.
Via television.
I saw that.
Yeah, where he's like, you need like 7 different subscriptions if you want to watch all game, if you're a massive Yankees fan and want to watch all 162. And I remember there were a couple people complaining like at the beginning of the season, like, oh man, the Sharks, can't believe they're not getting some more national games. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. I don't need to see them on ESPN plus 5, 7, 10 times. Forget that.
It's like, yeah, people have to want to watch the Sharks though.
But they're making it more exciting to do so. That's all that matters. Yep. All right, everybody. Have a great night. We'll catch you all next Sunday. And remember to join us following Mitchkoff versus Celebrini for After Dark. And do we know who's on that?
I do not.
Okay, then. Then tune in.
Sure it's not me.
Tune in and find out, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.